Okay, this is take number 3, all right? So you best be grateful, because geez Louise. Okay, now then, you have this equation, x squared minus 20x plus 2. Your first step, and you can see how I arranged all the steps right here, is to separate. You need to separate this 2. You need to push it out to the right. Now, you probably remember that part because it's the first step, which is good because you always need to remember to push this 2 away, you know? Push out the number to the far right. Now then, with your middle number is what you need for step 2. Step 2 is find the important number. This is everything. You just got to find the important number. How do you find the important number? You just divide this by 2. You find the middle number and you divide it by 2. So in this case, it would be 20 divided by 2, which equals 10. So 10 is your special number. It's a big old, good old number. You gotta remember that. Now, what you do with that 10 is that, well, first of all, you plug it into the equation later, but for now, you also need to find a second special number. And your second special number is going to be by taking your special number and multiplying it by itself. So you multiply 10 by itself to find your second special number, which in this case is 100. Now then, what you do with your first special number is you just plug it in here. Plus 2. Now, this is what you do with your first special number, your original 10. You plug it into these 2 things. And then you subtract the entire equation by your second special number, minus 100. There's one more thing that you need to do before making it all simple, you know, really just conglomerating it together. And that is to check your signs. You need to check if this even makes sense. Now, a funny thing that I found is that it can only possibly be either all positive or all negative. So either both of these signs are positive or both of them are negative. So you need to check, you know, by foiling to see if you get what you want. So, for example, is once you multiply this and this, you get 10x and 10x. So 10x plus 10x is just 20x. And that's negative 20, so it doesn't work. And here is another really cool thing about this thing. You don't even have to check. It's another shortcut. If this middle number is negative, then you know for a fact that both the signs in there are going to be negative. You already know if this right here in front of the middle number is a negative, then these 2 turn into negatives. If it's a positive, these 2 turn into positives. But in this case, the 20 is a negative, so we switch these to a negative. Now then, how can we simplify this to make it look like this, you know? Because that is our end goal. We need to convert this equation to look like this so that we can graph it and we can see, you know, what the heck it's doing. And that is by doing this. So in all of math in general, if you have 2 numbers that multiply themselves, you know, x times x, 2 times 2, 9 times 9, you know, anything like that, a simpler way to write them is by doing this. X squared, you know, 2 squared, 9 squared, because they're just multiplying by themselves. Now, what do you notice about these 2 things that are multiplying together? They are the exact same thing. So you could do the exact same thing that we did below. X minus 10 squared. You see? Then you simplify these 2 by just adding and subtracting, and you end up with negative 98. Perfect. We have our equation. We found our equation that looks exactly like this, you know. And perfect. You have your thing. Now you can start graphing. So, I hope you can see. Wait, let me see. Okay, you can see well. All right, so just, you know, have this in your brain for now. Now, another important thing that you need to do is the actual graphing itself. So you will have, so let's just do this equation because we have it, you know. If it's x minus 10 squared minus 98, well, the minus 10, that just, jeez Louise. That just means on the graph, it will shift 10 spaces this way, which is however many spaces, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'll shift 10 spaces to the right, and it'll go down 98, which my whiteboard isn't long enough for that. So just imagine it just goes down 98. And then, you know, it's just a regular quadratic equation, like such. But you probably already know how to graph it, which is good. But later, we will be going over vertices and or such. So this is just the first video. I'm going to be sending you 2 more. One on how to find your y and x intercepts, how to do all that stuff. And the second one, the next one I'm going to send you, is going to be about finding it when there is something in front of the x squared, you know? Like there is a greatest common factor, like we spoke about earlier. But for things that just have, you know, the x squared minus 20x plus 2, you know, there's nothing in front of that x. But in my next video, I'm going to show you what to do when there's like a 3 in front of it, or a negative, or a -3. So yeah, just be prepared for that.